You think you're clean? That's why I see.
They shall decide to stay here. This is mine, and I was in the house room.
I slept on a cushion before. I've gone home. I slept in the bench because I'll get that far and the house lots often. Pretty uninteresting job.
Well, it's really entertaining. Yeah, but the 53 is like it's more like what's like
Ooh. Who's that? Just when you walk in, music plays. Everybody has powers.
almost there. We are a few minutes early, so.
Was he up there?
I didn't go there.
Who, Dorjila? He's giving counseling. Lama counseling.
Oh, he did come?
He's coming at 10:30.
Oh, coming, okay.
Yeah, so I'm gonna.
Okay, that's your responsibility.
Yeah.
Did Dorji say?
Damien talked to Georgie because they're gonna get something on the way back from the airport, so Dorjila might be here.
These are MPs.
Yeah, they're empty. They didn't like that whole.
Oh. It's very nice.
Can you test it?
No, I don't think testing. Should use one of those, same. mindfulness, meditation, and yoga, but chanting, reciting, and maybe reading, these all involves with the practice, because the meaning comes after while you're chanting or reciting the text. And these either we call daily practice or general practice that people do, practitioners do. This is sometimes involved with mundo. Mundo means preliminary practice that we need to do in order to do main practices. So each tradition has sort of a condensed collection of the teachings from Buddhas, the followers, Panditas, and Tibetan masters, and so forth. It's they sort of collected these very thoughtfully and very kind of condensed way. If we need to chant longer sutras and others, maybe takes time, but this is sort of summary of the essence of the summary, the distillation of the meanings that teachings in sutras and the commentaries and tantras and so forth. So very important. You don't need to worry about after chanting this that did I miss something? Maybe you don't miss anything. So even more than that, it is a very powerful prayer in our lineage. While chanting these texts, also, if we can, we try to imagine or visualize or motivate ourselves. That's called practice. And sometimes, of course, you have tough time to follow the Tibetan reading. If you are new, there's many things involving in the Tibetan. Tibetan is a little bit difficult to familiarize because it's the grammatical units, that is sentences and phrases and modifiers and grammatical particles that need to read as a unit rather than maybe a little bit different than English. So it's sometimes difficult, but I was thinking that maybe one day we can mark how to read Tibetan, then we can read together maybe more synchronically. So we see when we have time and when we have, we can do that. And then other than that, then of course, even you know more than me, I think it is chanting. So I don't need to remind you again, but it's sometimes Tibetans say the important things you need to say many times. So that's Tibetan style, and doesn't mean I'm kind of underestimate your practice. So we chant together, and then after this chanting, of course, we all know that what we are doing, and then I try to say something in my teaching or discussion. You can also ask questions, and I can, if I can answer, that's okay. If not, we just discuss. So that is the important part. And somehow Tibetans practice evolve in this way, and that what we do here. So I think Tibetans get what should be, how to be practiced. So these chantings are very, very important. And the famous our Gampopa. Gampopa is the sort of third Tibetan Gajupa master after Marbal, who is the famous translator who translate these dharmas from India. And he's the most famous student, Milarepa, so that's most famous yogin or practitioner in all Tibet. And his student is Gampopa, so the third Gajupa's master. He says these 4 lines that first your mind turn into Dharma. Yeah. How to do that is usually, they say, through, I think English use of 4 mind changings, which need to think about who you are, how precious your life is, and so everything's impermanent. Don't hold too long to wait, practice. You need to practice kind of immediately and constantly, and so forth. These 4 mind changings will change your mind and motivate you and turn into Dharma. Then, while we are practicing, all sort of obstacles will arise, not only the external force that may be all sort of things, but famines and we see kind of nature disasters and man-made disasters. But we are not talking only about that. The obstacles that arise because of our own disturbing emotions, and that we can involve with such things that maybe never exist, but in our brain or in our mind, we can create fantastic things and sometimes make happy, sometimes make sad. So that's kind of fluctuation of emotion lead us different situations and sometimes involve much more difficult situations that maybe lead even insolvable sort of results. And that's the second, how we needed to remove, or wish to remove obstacles of the practice that most of the time comes from preliminary practice. So you do refuge prayer, bodhicitta, and the Vajrasattva practice, and mandala, and guru yoga, and so forth. So these remove obstacles. You can see, even think about the Vajrasattva's practice, how to kind of cleansing your body and mind, that through Vajrasattva 100 syllable mantras, to cleansing your body and purifying your body, and finally you are sort of become Vajrasattva himself or herself. And then the third one is on a path, or the practice path means practiced. On a path, my confusion will remove, so it means dispelled. And how to do that? Most of the time, now we have this first 4 mind changings, and then preliminary practices, and then now comes to usually sometimes called main practice, that somehow involves some deity practice that involved with the visualization and dissolution. These two are called the generation stage and completion stage. So these two are, once you rise and falls in a nature world. Similarly, our practices, first we need to visualize and then dissolve into the nature. Then final is this confusion dawn into or as a wisdom means. So now transformation is arriving. Samsara is dawn as nirvana, and confusion dawn as wisdom, or sometimes people translate this wisdom as a primordial wisdom or intrinsic kind of awareness, that type of awareness. So that comes teachings or practice from the Chakcha Chimbo in the Tibetan. In the Sanskrit, it's called Mahamudra, and that's English. Sometimes I think people use in English. So the Greek seal, or the Dzogchen Mahamudra, or the Greek perfection. So these two will turn your confusion into the wisdom. So these four stages or types of teachings very important even in our tradition. So that's keep that in mind, what we are doing, purpose of what, and so every chanting, every reading, every study and practice, meditation, and all has purpose. So these mainly we are doing this purpose for how we turn in our mind into Dharma, and how we can remove the obstacles on a practice. And so Dharma is that kind of remove confusion, and then finally our confusion itself is transformed into the wisdom. So thank you, and we can chant.
Okay. So in your prayer book, turn to page 1. All mothers, sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and all-knowingness, may they experience happiness and be separated from suffering. I will quickly establish them in the state of the most perfect and precious Buddhahood. All mother sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and all-knowingness, may they experience happiness and be separated from suffering. I will quickly establish them in the state of the most perfect and precious Buddhahood.
Tawa dan dan jin jimbe bardo ju bare jiba tam ji ji zo jibi ma nam ga dan nyambe sim jin tam ji dewa dan den dung dan dra nyordo la na me ba yang da vora zo be jan je rambo je to ba re ja.
Thus, until I achieve enlightenment, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. Until death, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. From now until this time tomorrow, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind.
Ti jedo san ma ji je pardo lunga yizom gewala go ma je pardo yizom gewala go de terene zonde nyama san ta zam je pardo lunga yizom gewala go.
All sentient beings, limitless as the sky, take refuge in the glorious kind Lama Vajradhara, the embodiment of the body, speech, mind, qualities, and activities of the Buddhas of the 10 directions and the 3 times. Source of the 84 categories and the teachings of the Lord of the Sanghas. We take refuge in the kind root Lama and lineage Lama. We take refuge in the deities of the mandala of the Yams. We take refuge in all the exalted Buddhas. We take refuge in the perfect Dharma. We take refuge in the excellent order of the Sangha. We take refuge in all the noble Dakas, Dakinis, the Dharma guardians, possessors of the eye of wisdom. We take refuge in the kind root Lama and lineage Lamas. We take refuge in the deities of the mandalas of the Idams. We take refuge in all the exalted Buddhas. We take refuge in the perfect Dharma. We take refuge in the excellent order of the Sammas. We take refuge in all the noble Dakas, Dakinis, and Dharma guardians, possessors of the eye of wisdom.
Namge tada nyambe samjen tam choju tu somje tijin shikpa tam jije ko zong to yoden chenle tam jije ngore churwa chuje pombo tongra jije zayin june pabi gendu tam jije ngada chenjen zawa tam jube jib Parden lama tamba namlai japsun je wo yedam jingor je lazo namlai japsun je sanje jumden de namlai japsun je wo tambi ju namlai japsun je Parbe gendu namlai japsun je wo pawan kandroi ju jong zung me tso Yeshi je jendan denpa namlai japsun je wo.
Until I attain the heart of enlightenment, I take refuge in all the Buddhas. I take refuge in the Dharma and likewise in the assembly of the Bodhisattvas. As the previous Buddhas embraced the enlightened mind and progressed on the Bodhisattva's path, I too, for the benefit of all sentient beings, give birth to bodhicitta and apply myself to accomplish the stages of the path. Until I attain the heart of enlightenment, I take refuge in all the Buddhas. I take refuge in the Dharma and likewise in the assembly of the Bodhisattvas. As the previous Buddhas embraced the enlightened mind and progressed on the Bodhisattva's path, I too, for the benefit of all sentient beings, give birth to bodhicitta and apply myself to accomplish the stages of the path.
Sanje nyingbo jiji bar sanje namlai japsun je chodan sanje samba ye tolan tejin japsun je shedai ngunje teji je sanje tonen je badang sanje zembe la bala tedarim je ne badang Tejin rola benden de shangjo semne jijishim Tejin dana la ba la rinpa jindo la ba yi.
In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha most excellent,
I take refuge and enlightenment source by the merit of generosity and of the good deeds.
May I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. Sangye Chodan Zoye Chonan Lai Changcho Barda Dane Japsenchi Tage Je Zoye Je Bezunan Je Rola Benjer Sangye Ndro Bar Sho. May all mother sentient beings boundless of the sky have happiness and the cause of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the cause of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness which is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings, boundless of sky, have happiness and the cause of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the cause of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness which is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. Ma namga dan nyambe simjen damje dewa dan dewe je dan demba choy je donga dan donga je je dan dawa choy je. Donga mebe dewa dan mendra je je nyere jadan yindan dra tanyang la neba je. Refuge of all sentient beings without exception, divine subjugator of terrifying Maras, together with the hosts of demons, the one who understands all realities without exception exactly as they are, transcendent conqueror, together with your disciples, please come here to this place. Banzara Zamanza, Banzara Zamanza, Banzara Zamanza, Malu Samjen Gunjin Gunjurjin, Tude Bonje Mezin Jumze La, Yunan Malu Shishin Janjurabe, Jumden Gorjin in the Badan Dusped Ologing and the Shabda Bradita Zwa. The ground is sprinkled with scented water and strewn with flowers. It is adorned with Meru, the supreme mountain, the four continents, and the sun and moon. As a Buddha field I offer. May all sentient beings attain the happiness of the Buddha fields. After merit I have gathered to demonstrations, offerings, confession, rejoicing, beseeching, and praying. For the sake of the enlightenment of all sentient beings, all this I dedicate. Sai Poje Shoji Medo Dan, Vera Lenzi Nindi Gembande, Sangye Jinla Mede Broaye, Dogu Namda, Jingbe Jubai Jo, Janzarwa Dan Jujin Shabba Dan, Jizai Yeron Korjin Zoai, Kawai Junze Dangi Jizaba Tamji Zobe Shanja Cheringo. Okay, and on to page 11. Namo, to the Lama of utterly pure appearance and existence, I offer the fundamental ground of appearance and existence. I supplicate you to thoroughly liberate the three realms. Please grant your blessings and return the depths of samsara. Sublime Master, wish-fulfilling jewel, crown ornament, the inconceivable, inexpressible mind of the victorious ones, the one endowed with the five wisdoms of omniscience, gracious one, the embodiment of love, precious protector of beings, I supplicate you from within the essence of mind. Please grant your blessings from within the innate nature. Please bless me that I may realize the Dharmakaya that is beyond intellect, this primordially unborn, completely pure mind, transcendent conqueror, the one thus gone, foe-destroyer of afflictive emotions, completely perfected Buddha, endowed with logic and virtue, the one gone to bliss, knower of the world, captain, tamer of beings, the unexcelled teacher of gods and men, I respectfully prostrate, completely touching my head to the stainless feet of the unequaled Shakya King. Time of your birth, leader of two-legged beings, taking 7 steps on this great earth, you proclaimed, I am supreme in this world. To you who are wise, even then I prostrate. Possessing a body of complete purity, your sublime form is excellent. An ocean of primordial wisdom, you are like a golden mountain. The one whose renown is evident throughout the 3 worlds, protector of supreme attainment, to you I prostrate. To you who are endowed with the supreme marks, whose face is like an immaculate moon, to you, the one with a complexion like gold, I prostrate. A flawless one such as you among the 3 levels of existence is most exquisite. Unparalleled, omniscient one, to you I prostrate. Supreme among humans, captain of those to be tamed, the one thus gone who severs the all-binding fetters, who with senses pacified is utterly pacified and skilled in peace. To that one, the one who dwelled at Shravasti, I prostrate. Refuge endowed with great compassion, totally omniscient one who indicates the way, ground basis for oceans of merit and qualities, I prostrate to the one thus gone, the pure cause free from attachments, the virtue that liberates from the lower realms, the altogether supreme ultimate truth, to the pacifying Dharma I prostrate. Having been liberated, they also reveal the path to liberation. Thoroughly respectful of the 3 higher trainings, they are a field of sublime qualities. To the Sangha, I also prostrate. And back to page 9.
Namo Nansi Namdagi Lama La Nansi Shiryin Zenchubambo Kamzon Yondor the Zorwan de Gorwa Tondor Zinjela Jeyi Norwa Zogi Jan Mazan Jumi Jareto Chimbe Yeshi Ngadan Den Zewe Dani Gari Dowa Jamze Rembo Che Da Simi Jing Ane Zorwande Chunye Jing Ande Jinje Lo Zemdone Jimi Namdande Londe Chugo Dobar Jinje Lo Jom Dende Tijin Jigba Jumba Yang Tabara Dobe San Rigbadan Jabzu Demba Deva Jigba Jiden Jimba Jiva Drua Kalo Jirwa Lana Mep Sadan Me Namji Domba Nyami Shai Jarbo Shabji Dor Chama Mebala Go Rabza Do De Gubi Chanza Lo Kanze Ganyi Zo Judam Ze Sajenda La Kumba Din Waran Jiden De Nan Joji Zon De Zenke Bai Chulai Chanza Lo Namdai Gungan Chodo Sozon Wai Yeshi Janzo Zerje Lumban Chagban Jiden Zona Longewa Ngombo Choni Chulai Chanzalo Senjoy Denba Jmin Dawi Shar Zendon Dawai Chulai Chanzalo Tudre Chundra Ziba Zonanze Nyamin Chen Chen Chulai Chanzalo Miyondorwa kaloi junze jin kunjur jingwa junze teshin shek Ombo shi shin nye shi shi lan ki nye yu shukpa ta lai jan za lo Ngombo tu ji che den ba tam chi jen ba dong ba bo Sunai ya den jan zi shi ti shin shi lai jan za lo Tao ban de jia zhe wei ju ge wei ngan song lei zhe xin jie de dao dan zhu zhu ru wei xi zhu ru qiu lai qiang zai le zhu nin zhi wei lam yong dang la ba dao la ra de gu xian ge dan ban yu din nin xin gen du la yang qiang zai le.
And to page 15. I prostrate to the youthful Manjusri, to those in the worlds of the 10 directions, however many there are, all the lions among humans who appeared during the 3 times, to all of them without exception, I pay homage with respectful body, speech, and mind. The force of my aspiration prayer for excellent conduct brings all the victorious ones directly to mind. Bowing down with bodies as numerous as atoms in the realms, I prostrate to all the victorious ones. In a single atom, there are Buddhas as numerous as atoms, each residing in the midst of their sons and daughters. Like that, I imagine the whole Dharma Dhatu completely filled with victorious ones. To those with oceans of inexhaustible, praiseworthy qualities, with sounds containing oceans of tones of melodic speech, I express the qualities of all the victorious ones. I praise all the Sugatas. With the finest flowers, the finest garlands, music, ointments, supreme parasols, supreme lamps, and the finest incense, I make offerings to the victorious ones. With the finest cloths, supreme scents, and fine powders equal to Mount Meru, all displayed in supreme and magnificent ways, I make offerings to those victorious ones. With vast and unsurpassable offerings, I venerate all the victorious ones. Through the power of faith and excellent conduct, I prostrate and offer to the victorious ones. Whatever negative actions I have performed with body, speech, and also mind, overpowered by desire, aggression, and stupidity, I confess each and every one of them. I rejoice in everyone's merit, the victorious ones of the 10 directions, the Bodhisattvas, the Pratyeka Buddhas, those in training, those beyond training, and all beings. I request the protectors, the lamps of the worlds of the 10 directions, who passing through the stages of awakening, attain Buddhahood beyond attachment, to turn the unsurpassable Dharma wheel. I supplicate with my palms joined together, those who intend to demonstrate nirvana, to remain for kalpas as numerous as atoms in the realms, for the welfare and happiness of all beings. I dedicate whatever slight virtue is accumulated through prostrating, offering, confessing, rejoicing, questing, and supplicating to enlightenment. And to page 14.
Om Baban Jambara Shuna Jirwala Jansa Lo Shini Soda Chojunji Na Duzon Jigba Meye Senge Gun Dage Malu Dada Tamjil Ludang Ayi Tangwe Chaji Wo Zombo Yubi Monlam Dobdagi Jawa Tamji Yiji Nguzon To Shingi Dunyi Lura Dubaye Jawa Gunla Rabdu Janza Lo Dorji Dena Dorni Sanji Na Sanji Ziji Una Yubata Tadar Chuji Yena Maluba Tamji Jarwa Dagi Kanwaramu Yatadai Ngaba Mizi Janzan Yongji Yanlai Jansu Dragunji Jarwa Gunji Yodan Rabjuti Dewa Shikwa Tamji Dagi Du Medo Tamban Chingwa Tambat Nye Nanda Shikwa Dungjo Don Marmi Chodon Durbu Tambaye Jawa Dada Lanin Chubare Ji Naza Tamba Namtan Chinjot Chime Perma Rura Nyamba Lan Gupa Chibare Pabin Chogun Jawa Dada Layan Chubare Ji Juba Kana Lame Jache Teta Jawa Tamji Layan Mo Sombo Jula Devi Dobdagi Jawa Gun Lai Chansar Juba Ji Doja Shedan Demo Wange Ludan Adan De Jin Yi Jiang De Ba Tang Yi Ji Ba Jin Chi Tada Tamje Dagi Sozo Ya Cho Ju Jarwa Gun Dan San Ji Rongja Namdan Lobdan Melabdan Drowa Gunji Sunam Kongla Tada Gunji Jisa Dai Ran Kanam Chojin Jiten Dromanta Shangcho Rambara Sanje Majani Gombo Tada Dagi Tamje La Kolo Lana Meba Gowa Go Nyangan Dadon Kongshi Dadal Roa Kunla Benjin Devi Che Karwa Jingi Tuni Yuwa Gi Tama Rajara Sarvara Ji Chan Sarva Dan Jujin Shabat Jisa Yeran Kochin Sarva Ye Gewa Junzi Dagi Jizab Tamji Dagi Shangjo Jeringo.
And to page 16. Please turn the wheel of the Dharma of the two vehicles and their combination according to the dispositions and mental capacities of sentient beings.
Sunchen Namji Samba Tang Loyi Jerai Jedawa Chejun Tumo and Tigbaye Chujin Golo Gordu Zomzong Jetan Jin O Redong Jin Gorjam Dojada Garin Sume Dojitan in Kamsom Juji Jerbushab Jibemo Chimame Balango Rada Teze Kozum Kuba Jimbo Gune Jan Tarshin Jabsun Jio Jewane Serab Jin Chingwa Tam Jeza Toza Jimbo Gune Jesu Sonde Jushin Jela Zeda Zor Gonge Jarzon Dave Mengang Gezan Zamben Dang Jashin Tembe Sebo Sandra Zarvin Rogun Mege Dezajer Tojin Dama Guni Julen Jidan Som Jin Kong Tuon Bima Garbo Deren Dalo Yen Zor Jon Urjin Zolen Pimi Dambo Ze Jarvin Namro Rongjung Junjin Senzo Beji Yoden Zombarwe Piman June Dalo Ben Zore Jon Shini Tengu Jin Zikbin Jen Zijin Kora Mushin Rogun Zemu Mimba Senze Loru Kunde Nyende Kudun Yishi Jiba Megun Chuyin Galan Ziba Gong Jambara Shunu Gunde Kave Zogun Jo Yintro Ben Magar Punzun Bisha Leksan Wazar Donge Chawai Nyinge Munsar Lo Chung Chosor Yonjin Age Barmo Da Yi Jong Kora Toga Renje Nying Pungo Royo Den Gunjong Gavi Jizart Yingbo Tongse Bipi Nanjurba Cheme Yozre Shabye Da Yi Jong Shedra Jarve Zebo Shivala Nandar Chobe Onjo Shawar Sama Pangjo Dungarong Rungun Jingmi Chuji Wambu Da Yi Jong Redong Jambar Shuni Shilale Gong Belang Le Babi Darjit Londo Chunze Jansung Adan Cho Me Pam Jam Yang Nam Jala Gu Chan Zo Yoden Sanchi Gun Tonyam Naya Kandri Sanchi Gun Le La Bingong Za Vila Mazala Sarwan Da Son Drove Lo Nai Chula Jo. Okay, thank you so much for coming. I think maybe we have more friends joining us online, so be kind to them or and yeah, just we start with these 4 dharmas of Gampopas, and maybe some of you didn't have chance to hear that I was mumbling myself, so I can mumble again here. So 4 dharmas, that's important. Dharmas, of course, complication is a lot of meaning, but it's Tibetan when say practice dharma, they call do dharma. So it means the positive, the virtuous things you can, any positive activity or actions that you can take, that's called do dharma or practice dharma. So that's why the Gampopa's 4 dharmas means there's 4 things you need to think about, and also any practice or dharma activities that should sort of have goals that resolve or achieve some sort of these 4 dharmas. And the first one is one's own mind stream into dharma, and second, dharma should kind of not have obstacles while doing dharma, external or internal obstacles. Mostly internal obstacles are more powerful than external obstacles. And then we have the paths that should not or would not have any hindrance or confusions. And then the last one is one's own confusion is transformed into the wisdom. So it's sort of step by step, but also is as you can do at the same time. So today we are this particular text. I mentioned the first one, turning your own mind into Dharma, is called the 4 mind changings that can change your mind. And then the preliminary practice represents the Dharma that kind of should not have confusion on what you are doing. So preliminary practice is clear that say everything, spell out that through bodhicitta and refuge and bodhisattva all has this purpose. And then the dharma is that one while you are doing any deity practice, advanced practice, then is somehow its purpose of removing all the obstacle or obscuration on a path that you have. So usually Lama Yidam Khandro practices, the Lama is the source of blessing, and Yidam is the source of siddhis. If you don't know what that siddhi means goodies. And and then the third one is called Dakini practice, and the female deity practice, which removes your obstacles. So it's a necessary, these 3, so you can see how your confusion or misunderstanding on a path will remove by these practices. And then final one So you are even delusional. I know you don't have delusion, but if we have anyone have delusion or confusion, that sort of transform into wisdom, which means the concept that we have will turn into the wisdom, non-conceptual, non-dual wisdom. That's just the last one. I already mentioned that that's coming from, I mean, any Dharma practice could do that, but the main focus is here. The last one is teachings coming from Mahamudra or the Dzogpa Khenpo or Dzogchen in Tibetan, that the great perfection tradition. So these two are, of course, not much different. There's some different methods, so lineage holders emphasize differently. If you really want to know what's the difference between Mahamudra and Dzogchen these days, they say these two lineages are exposed to each other or kind of intertwine each other. So these days you don't really, or maybe you cannot really distinguish what these two are. So, and there's, if you are more focused on these things, you can read the union of Mahamudra and Dzogpa Khenpo, Great Perfection. So there's a particular book that I'm sure that book should be in English. This famous text, and you can see how these two are sort of so close, and even we maybe cannot distinguish. However, now these texts, particular text, Choying or the Treasury of Dharma Dhatu, sort of belong to the Nyingma lineage and composed by 14th century, this kind of famous scholar and also yogi practice wrote these texts. And then we see Batu Rinpoche, if you don't know him, he's the author of the Word of My Perfect Teacher, which is another famous text in English, I think. So he praised these texts. It's really kind of tertiary. If you think Longchenpa as such a master, realized master, then if you see these texts, it's the same as seeing Longchenpa himself. So it's that kind of text we are studying or we are focusing on, and I kind of this repeating again and again. Sometimes my teacher, when he teach, use these tripping birds, so saying same thing all the time. So there's no kind of interesting, fantastic, or amazing things. I don't have. So we just stick with these texts to see what we can do, how much we can extract or dive into. Maybe it's better going into the text rather than extract. So we dive into these texts to see how much we can survive in this ocean of knowledge, and without the sinking bottom of this ocean, still can survive, hopefully. Okay, and we somehow, when Buddhist teachings, in order to make sense, it cannot avoid to say this ground, path, and fruition, and this kind of structure of that. When we say about ground, then it's talking about the nature. What is the nature? Its ontology is that. That word is maybe too complicated word, but really, what is the nature? Its nature abides. How its nature abides. We need to think about that, and then the path. What kind of path we can take, and then if we do that, what kind of result we can get. So those are things. And then chapter 1 to 9, we often say it's talking about the reality, what's happening, what's going on, rather than kind of put instruction that say you should do this and that, and kind of directly imperative form, or the future form that implies the imperative form to rather than what to do. Here is more what it is. So knowing what it is very important, I think. Even not maybe even our modern society sort of one's belief is very strong. You can see sometimes based on belief people do good things, sometimes based on belief do non-good things. So belief is very important. That's called view. Is related to the reality. So if we know sort of exactly, even conceptually, what reality is, then that gives us confidence that what we are doing or what we should do, that's called path. But on a path, that meditation that makes our belief sort of stabilize or make stronger, and also it's our belief and what reality is kind of bring closer and closer. That's why I call realization, and comes from the meditation. And then of course the conduct is called the helper or companion of the meditation, which means if you do positive conduct, it helps your meditation. And then final result, of course, we all want to be awakened state or achieve Buddhahood that's free of suffering and concept. That's the purpose of here. And we are in chapter 3, chapter 4, yeah? Okay, sorry. Chapter 4, that the essence and display of a working mind mainly means we have examples how can display or introduce this awakening mind, and that working mind is now sort of introduced through many ways, but this is the actual awakening mind itself. Okay. Do you remember we have? I think we read the first verse or paragraph on page 31. That's bottom?
Yes.
Oh, we already finished bottom?
Yes.
Okay.
To the bottom.
Okay. So we should read one more in 31. I read Tibetan and then you can follow in English. Chetana me jarnam nyogwa me tayin se tawa yang jubsen kongyong ma pong korsa lai chu.
There is no division into outer, inner, and no disturbance due to thoughts arising or subsiding. The foundation, awakened mind, dispels the darkness of extremes, with nothing having to be renounced. The potential for error is cut through as a matter of course.
So in a reality that whatever we call nirvana or awakening stage or Buddhahood, or the result that self-awareness is really already, it's our innate, so we cannot change our nature. So this nature is usually Nagarjuna have explanations what does nature mean. Nature means you cannot change. Nature is always should be in a kind of same stage and the same mode. That's why these, even we want to awake and want to achieve enlightened stage or Buddhahood, but that should be achieved through without fabrication or without changing or without any alterations. That's why with nothing have to be renounced, the potential for error is cut through as a matter of course. So it's it's a little bit difficult to put in English, I guess. Tibetan's more without giving up, or abandoning, or discarding anything, or the hindrance will cut through, or you can pass through all the hindrance to reach to the result, which means the Buddhahood. And effortless is of course, main practice in Mahamudra and the Dzogchen, so that's why it's the more you practice through effortful way, then it's somehow it's no matter what you do, is some sort of fabrication and creation that doesn't add up on the nature. That's sometimes people a little bit worry about that. If you say that, then I don't need to do anything, and I don't want to do anything, and then end up doing nothing. That kind of attitude would people concerned that would rise, but I'm not sure that is a more sort of the method how to do it. So I think motivation is always behind that. We want to be a good person, or we want to achieve good results. That doesn't sort of stop by saying that you don't need to change your nature. So And then we are on page 33. If you have, maybe I have a Tibetan phonetic text. Maybe next time, if we have more teachings, we could read together if you want. That's okay. And you don't have to follow my melody. That there's without melody is fine, but when we read together, we need to follow someone. So that's another thing we can learn. Okay. Dove no zo na zong ji ten dan ta be sang ji gu dan yi shi do ta ma to za li sha wa yi ru ba ma ga nam ki yin cha Choying on la do ma do zang do bi de yi ta bi no dang ma tong ma re zong zin hao jia le na zong nong yong yin le yu ba me.
The world of myriad ways in which beings perceive, and even the kayas and timeless awareness of pure Buddhahood, all that permeates the realm of basic space as a continuous display arises due to dynamic energy, either in light of realization or in its absence. There is simply realization or its lack within the realm of the basic space of phenomena. For those with realization who have reached the state of bliss, there is pure perception. For those without it, there is unrecognition of awareness and the habitual patterns of dualistic perception, from which sensory appearances manifest in all their variety through none of these strays from basic space.
Mm-hmm. It is sometimes a little bit difficult to understand, or people. There's a lot of debate or ideas that because of this, if we are already Buddha, then why we are in a samsara, or that kind of argument would arise. But here is saying not our ontologically we are already Buddha, but we need to realize that who we are, rather than we are creating a new Buddha or new awakened person. A person is not say in English, but Buddha is not really a person in concepts of Buddhist teaching. And mainly here the differentiation or these realization and non-realization can differentiate these two, samsara and nirvana, not who you are, but rather than do you recognize it or not, or do you realize it or not? So that's why realization is very important. And of course, the whole purpose of the Buddhist teachings, you can see the four dharmas of Gampopa, how lead until the final stage is your confusion transform into wisdom, means you need to know that your confusion itself is wisdom. And Jamgon Contour, Lama Jambu, the calling guru from far, has this Namto Chukuyin Jutumato. So your own concept, Adharmakaya, but not you or we didn't recognize that. So the concept itself, thought itself is Dharmakaya. So that And in our Namanasi Namda, there is this, we need to realize our kind of mind is Dharmakaya. Yeah. So Dharmakaya is what we are talking about. Dharma. Dharma means Dharmata. Dharmata means suchness or reality. So here Dharma, as you can see, there's the phrase that Dharma and Dharmata. Dharma means things. Dharmata means the suchness of the things. So here Dharmakaya means, doesn't mean the body of the monk, but here more the reality body. So reality body is of course coming from the understanding of emptiness, which often used as a kind of reality in the sutra teachings, but also that comes with the wisdoms that also infuse with the emptiness. That's why it's called union of kind of empty and clarity, or empty and wisdom. So these two are coming together. And knowing that, or the realization of this suchness, is called liberation. And not knowing or not realizing this reality is called samsara. So the samsara is sort of 100% relying on or based on the understanding or this lack of understanding, these two. If we repeat here again that all that permeates the realm of basic space as continuous display arise due to the dynamic energy. We know dynamic energy means some potentiality or dynamism that stirs the sort of nature to appear to us phenomena, either in the light of a realization, which is nirvana, or it is absent, which is samsara. There is simply realization or its lack within the realm of the basic space of phenomena. So these two are the crucial kind of point or crucial teachings in the Buddhist text. Then we also saw that when we say ground and view, so view means you realize something. So you need to realize that we should have the correct view or correct view that changes our perception and our concept, and then we hopefully have better sort of realization and practice that will gain a final result. And then next paragraph. Chanchosan kunjing ye de zeni manga na zo ye sha yang rong sar ju ni ta ta bin sa ye sa me to jan ri bin.
Awakened mind is the actual state of everything. It exhibits an unceasing quality. Whatever arises in all its variety is naturally and clearly apparent, evident within the pure basic space, the true nature of phenomena. There is no division or exclusion. The mode of awareness is without restriction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, now I think we are all kind of familiar with this awakening mind, what we are talking about. And this awakening mind is the basis of all, means holds samsara and nirvana. We are mainly means the individuals or even the external objects, the rocks and the mountains and rivers and the stars and the galaxies and so forth, has kind of situated in these awakened mind. So nothing is out there that is not in this realm of the awakened mind, and somehow due to our the dynamism or the dynamic energy appears as this either we see kind of beautiful, wonderful, fantastic phenomena, or we see kind of disturbing images that maybe upset us, but that is due to us rather than the nature or qualities of the appearance or the phenomena that appear. It's often used as a dream image that may upset you, but doesn't necessarily mean it exists beyond your better say brain or mind, maybe mind. And it could appear variety. It says it exhibits an unceasing quality, means that there's no limits of that. So we can see, and we can see all kind of shapes and colors and size of anything that we can think of. And then our next paragraph. Sondarye royon loyon shen madurchen no mi bravosa rangre samji melon boje donjon norva renjin chuje tsarwa me ba tam ji rangjon we royon yi shen do gunjong we ba.
Unobstructed, timeless awareness, a naturally occurring spacious expanse, is utterly lucid, unobscured with no vision into outer or inner, and so self-knowing awareness is the great radiant mirror of mind. The precious gem that provides for all wants is the basic space of phenomena. Since everything occurs naturally without having to be sought, naturally occurring timeless awareness is the splendid source of all good.
Yeah, now often we think that we are here somehow distant objects from here to all the way to maybe end of space, which we was not discovered, but galaxies and so forth, distant things. But here is more to saying we can relate with these that there's nothing that we cannot reach by our awareness. So our awareness is sort of comprehension or can comprehend anything, objects that exist, not chasing the objects that we need to do. Science sent telescopes to other galaxies maybe to do something, but it's not saying that kind of interaction. It's more everything in here rather than everything's out there. And the metaphor or what we use is here as mirror, yeah, that the as you can see here, self-knowing awareness is the great radiant mirror of the mind. So the phenomena arise to or reflect on our mind rather than that mirror is kind of chasing the external objects. We could have mistaken in ourselves that what that would be, but it's saying that really is reflection rather than the external things that are floating around separately. And this is an important statement that we can look at our mind self and through there we resolve any problem what we may have, because that stops everything. Once you look at your mind nature or nature of mind, then all the thoughts are stopped, and which maybe still have some reflections on your mind, but that doesn't last too long. So that is the idea of the practice of looking at your mind. And of course, Milarepa's famous statement that the appearances doesn't bond your mind, but with the clingings that kind of bind or tie to your mind. So it's, the appearances itself is not the problem, but how we treat it. We often discuss that humans are meaning makers, so we can make meanings, and we 99% of time we are wrong. We always think that person thinks something, that maybe that neighbor is doing something, and that car is chasing me, and so forth. So you can see how our mind is a wonderful meaning maker that without, what they say in English, out of blue or out of blue, yeah, can.
Something out of nothing.
Yes, exactly. We are good at that. So, I mean, sometimes maybe our life is more colorful, wonderful. I think to do that rather than just without any proliferating thoughts. But that's the teaching that we need to reduce, that kind of making meanings, if we can. I'm not saying you should must do it. So that's individual's choice. And then next one. Chebiyo nam zhong xin yi ba yin le yin jiong tam jiong man gai tam ji jian me yin zhen lun zhe bei mo po si er nong dong ni xiong jiao long dong ba si nong rong ri xiong jiao long.
However many great qualities can be enumerated, they come from basic space and are basic space, arising continuously as sublime, skillful means. Since everything is spontaneously perfect in unborn basic space, the substance of things is shown in their emptiness as the expanse of enlightenment. while their emptiness is outshone by self-knowing awareness as the expanse of enlightenment.
Yeah, I think still here, Longchenpa or any Buddhist teaching is purpose of giving information that would let up or rise some confidence and understanding realization to individual, each of us. And due to that, our concept is very limited. So when we say empty, then we sort of avoid, or we cannot just say at the same time existing things. So these two are existing and non-existing things are conflicts in our mind. That's why here introducing what that would be, this awakening mind. Either this is an existing thing or it's not non-existing things. It's unborn, easy to say, because the conditional things arise and cease. And that's not that one, because the spontaneously present thing. And also rise from this dharma dhatu, but it doesn't mean dharma dhatu is transform or changing something. And the best method of teaching, sort of making sense to us, is use these last two lines, that what these two can do. The substance of things is outshone by their emptiness as the expanse of enlightenment. So when we think about things, we think things exist. So that's why the emptiness is antidote of that, or on that, clinging on existing things. But then if our minds go too far to say, okay, everything's nothing. And then the last line is saying, while their emptiness is outshone by self-knowing awarenesses as the expanse of enlightenment. So when we say these self-awareness or waking self-awareness, that when we say that, kind of rescue us from our thoughts, from abysmal of the nothingness of that. So these clearly to see for us that we should not fall into these two extremes rather than balancing, or if you can unite or you can treat that indivisibility of this empty and awakened mind together. That is the main purpose of this teaching. Next one. Changjob samla nongtong yene me nime ma yen zami chung chung run tusum de me je me ju ji yen min yor me che yen do ma shi vel tusum zang je rigbe je yen sum zi san no rong re xiong jo long che tong nyong mi chu yin lu yong so chu yin rin bo jin zo le An
awakened mind, appearances and emptiness have never existed. Do not fixate on non-duality, or the inconceivable miraculous display still occurs. With no time frame, the unborn basic space of phenomena is an unchanging, undivided, and uncompounded expanse. Throughout the three times, Buddhahood is awareness, the basic space of timeless awareness. The expanse of enlightenment is of self-knowing awareness that outshines dualistic perceptions. With no division into outer and inner, the true nature of phenomena is spontaneous and spacious. This is the fourth session of the basic space of phenomena, demonstrating the nature of awakened mind.
So, of course, then the Buddhist view is not stop there. Is this usually four extremes often talk about existing, non-existing, both and neither. The four extremes means that our concept can somehow it grabs or somehow makes sense to us. If say existence, we often see things, and non-existing things disappear, or things we don't see. These are easy, and both together is difficult to see, but that's more kind of abstract concept that if we think both existing in one thing, earlier was saying the emptiness that sort of antidote on the existing things, and the working awareness is antidote of that emptiness. But then here the first line say, a working mind, appearances of emptiness have never existed. So in or the waking mind or the waking awareness is both. We cannot say whether empty or not. It's just more beyond these two things. If we think about neither of them, but we are clinging on, or we think about, or both the waking mind is beyond these two. If we conceptualize it, then it's still clinging. So that's why the lines are, but do not fixate it on non-duality. So usually Buddhist teachings promote non-dual thing, non-concept, non-dual things. But here say, if you conceptualize non-dual things, that is the same as existing or non-existing. But do not fixate on non-duality. For the inconceivable miraculous display still occurs. So it's this teaching is trying to say, bit by bit, our identity is taken away. So we have no rights to think about anything. if we allowed, that's maybe constitutionally it's violate our own sovereignty and so forth. So that's what the teaching is. And these, of course, then this without birth and so forth, and ceasing and never change and indivisible and unconditioned. These are all we are familiar with, because seems is better than saying impermanent and changing and visible, then everything's fall apart. So it seems when we say without birth and unceasing, unchanging, and indivisible, unconditioned, so sounds like we cannot really do anything. So that's for us seems comforting us, but doesn't necessarily mean once we think, yes, that is permanent. So something we hold on, can hold on, then maybe there is some problems in us. And these awakening awareness can overpower these subject-object duality things. If we really recognize our mind nature, then we don't need to worry about the subject-object dualistic things, because if we look at our mind nature, if we kind of directly see our mind nature, the subject-object duality structure will be collapsed. That's the power of this practice. And this is chapter 4, and we saw this is the nature of a waking mind. So maybe we can discuss each chapter end. We have a little bit more to clarify, or you want to offer some thoughts to others, we can do that.
There's an online question.
Okay. So as we paint this picture of the awakened mind, I can say from my perspective, the painting of the picture makes me feel more lost. Like the expansiveness, as we continue to use this word, feels like it's expanding and expanding, and it's further removed now that I have a little clearer. And I don't know if there's no question in here or not, but it seems almost daunting, like almost non-obtainable, because it's so far away. I don't know if anyone else feels that way, but that's just kind of where my mind's going as we develop this concept, and which isn't a concept, and I'm not supposed to think of it as a concept. And then, it's like, all right, at the moment I think I understand it, and I'm told I'm not supposed to it just, yeah, just my feelings or perceptions at the moment seems very unfounded, like the ground or whatever understanding I have is not enough to even stand on the, get going. I don't know.
Yes, I think that's really a good question. That's why I'm trying to sometimes involve Buddhist philosophy. It seems like describing some distant things and some kind of unreachable concept or realities. So that's why it's often taking back to this awakening mind or awakening awareness. That is the subject. Usually we say Dharma Dhatu is even more distance in this translation, basic space, so it's kind of a deep space stuff. But that's somehow, of course, we humans always seems relying on, in order to make sense to us, we need to rely on the structure of subject-object duality base. And when we describing these nature of phenomena or reality, then it becomes object. So somehow, of course, then and immediately we don't have direct access to that, then it's just sort of become distant reality. So the purpose of the teaching is to bring back to as much close as possible, and these Rigpa, or awareness, or the mind, that's always treated as a subject, which means the practitioner's awareness. And the final sort of result or the goal is to collapse these, what we call the space or the Dharma Dhatu and our awareness. So this two collapse means then there's no subject-object duality, but only through the text, it's a little bit difficult without have experience, but that's why the practice, meditation, and so forth is sort of interesting, not interesting, important to bring interesting too. Yeah, bring these two together and collapsing this subject-object duality. That's also another difficult part, because if collapse subject-object duality, there's no subject-object, then the action would be neither can occur, because actions always relying on something to act on something. If we don't have that, then these three, sometimes in the Buddhist teachings, they call three spheres: that subject, object, and action. And these three collapse, then we are useless. We cannot make samsaric meaning anymore, as we are powerless. Become that's the idea.
So one of the things I heard in the question, Khenpo, is how to deal with the uncomfortability that comes up with having a conceptual mind trying to understand something that's not necessarily conceptually understandable. And perhaps you could talk about maybe giving yourself permission to suspend the natural need that sometimes comes up about wanting to put it into a box that I understand and now I feel better. And so perhaps you could maybe discuss a good way to go through the progression of the understanding and how to suspend the need to get it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I think if I understand correctly, it's just saying that somehow whatever we are doing is not good enough, and at some point we are become hopeless, kind of what we should do. If we're doing something, it's not good enough. We're not doing, then it's not good enough. So the concept, I think, here, the main purpose is we need to eradicate or remove our concept. That's the goal. But in order to do that, we have nothing but concept. So if we remove that, then the removing concept is our goal, but we are totally relying on the concept. And so reaching to that goal is difficult because we don't have much tools to remove it. But Dzogchen and Mahamudra introduce some methods to remove that concept. And that's why teaching like this text. However, even we cannot remove totally that concept, while we are relying on concept, we need to use language and concept to somehow, even we can reduce some proliferation of thoughts that may be more disturbing than the other thoughts. That doesn't necessarily mean concept can remove concept totally, because even thinking that meditations that introduce non-concept, non-thinking, if you try to think, I don't want to think, that is think, yeah. So it's a difficult thing to do, but it has some benefits.
We have other questions online. So there is another question online asking for you to correlate the Four Noble Truths with the ground path and fruition of this model. Is there a way of mapping the two together?
Oh, okay, yeah. I can do that. I'm not sure it's allowed or not. No, I think the Four Noble Truths is based on the cause and result. The first two are cause and result of samsara. The second two, last two is based on nirvana, cause and result. If we think about suffering, it's that samsaric thing, and that what we don't want. And Buddha say we need to recognize that. But then introduce cause. It's called Gunyung, the source of everything, which is confusion or ignorance, even sometimes used as more like attachment. That so these, the first samsaric cause and result is when we think about that, then the suffering itself has four aspects in Buddhist teaching, that Four Noble Truths kind of multiplied by 4 it's 16. The first suffering itself has 4, which is first one is emptiness, selflessness, impermanent, and suffering. So these are saying that whatever you have suffering, that's just empty, that's a selflessness, and that's impermanent. Not impermanent, impermanent, yeah. And then suffering itself. So if you think what is suffering, suffering that's give pains or discomfort, that is obvious. But really what it is impermanent. So through impermanent, it changes. It has cause and has a result. And then the third one, even these phenomena, whatever appear on an impermanent, but still it has no self. Means the cup's nature is not cup. And then the final one is empty. So whatever you feel or whatever you experiencing is nothing but empty. So that is the ground, mainly the ground, understanding of that view. And the same thing, we think about what's the cause of samsara, and it's dealing with these 12 links of dependent origination, which is going back to our ignorance and so forth. That is talking about the nature of things. It's relates to the ground, and view it means how we believe that. And then true nirvanic cause and result is called peace or the nirvana. And then the path. So usually when Buddhist teaching is the result comes first and then cause comes second, because first you know what you want or what you have, and then think about the cause. So now the suffering is unwanted thing, and now we want to be peace and happiness. That's English, sounds like a temporary thing, but anyway, this everlasting happiness. And that is not coming from nothing. It's we need to practice. That is the cause. And you can see that the samsaric cause and the result is more related to the ground, because we are talking about the reality, what the situation is, and then the nirvanic result is the result what we want to get, and the path path is talking about how we should be there. So these are related, yes.
John, did you want to answer your question?
Not necessarily, I was just thinking about how that frustration of wanting to connect through conceptual understanding or through concepts, but there's ways of connecting with things that suspend those concepts, like awe or wonder or amazement, or qualities like ease and delight, things like that, that don't quite fixate on a resolution, a conceptual resolution, but are more open. You know, they're unresolved and open.
All right. There's another online question, perhaps?
Okay.
So the question is, if the purpose of the fourth dharma contained within the four dharmas of Gampopa is in order to turn confusion into wisdom, why do we need to clear confusion in the third dharma? And the second part of that question is, it's so that the gross level confusion goes away, leaving the subtle confusion in order to spontaneously appear as wisdom.
Is the last one is someone's answering that question, or?
I think he's wondering if he's on the right track, maybe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this 84, maybe put here. It's Buddhist famous way of saying that there's 84 categories of Buddhist teaching. 84,000, sorry. Not only 84. Yeah, we don't have we don't enough for 84. We need 84,000 categories of Dharma teaching. And that is also, they say, kind of reduced, kind of limited number, but there is inconceivable methods of teaching. And of course, we see individuals have different ideas and different different concept, that values, that what we want to give up and what we don't want to give up. So I think four dharmas are kind of comprehensive Buddhist teaching, that 84,000 category teachings in four dharma. Then if we think about that must covered this basic Buddhist teaching through Four Noble Truths to all the way to Mahamudra. And everything is based on the ground. Everything is concept, our Dharmakaya, our wisdom, but we need to get there through step by step. And the very first step we can take first, we need to, at least we don't like samsaric things. We wanted to do some, we wanted to try new things, yeah. In order to become successful, then we need to do more things. And then in order to, when we do more things, more obstacles will rise. And we need to face with those obstacles and maybe can handle those, or we don't know. But then if we did all these good things and we are successful and we defeat, I don't want to use that word, maybe not defeat our unwanted things, then maybe there is our reality will occur, could be, yeah.
No other questions?
Oh, no other questions. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's, if you have time, please read these texts. It's not only, of course, our Dharma books, we don't treat lightly that just reading a novel, but you can read these texts as your daily practice and also as your favorite text that maybe poetically sort of bring your interest in this concept. So it's good text if you can. And today I think we are need to stop. We need to stop here because of the time limit that we have, and then we will see if we can go step by step to look at this text in the future. And please.
So turn to page 24 in your prayer book for these dedication prayers. By the virtues collected in the three times by myself and all beings in samsara and nirvana, and by the innate root of virtue, may I and all beings quickly attain unsurpassed, perfect, complete, precious enlightenment. May the teachings of the great Drakumpa Ratnashri, who is omniscient, Lord of the Dharma, Master of interdependence, continue and increase through study, practice, contemplation, and meditation until the end of samsara.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you again.
Skeletal transplant.
Okay, thank you everyone.
So before everybody leaves,